Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today I have something really interesting for you. I'm going to cover high level, okay? And I'm going to give you video specific things, examples, all of that stuff. The 3 fastest ways to scale your marketing agency, whether it's 10,000 you want to get to, 50,000 or $100,000 a month. These principles apply to any amount, okay? So it doesn't matter where you're at in your journey right now. If you want to hit the next year, then this video is for you. So pay attention. So there's 3 different ways to do this that you have to get right. I'm going to show you how to get them right. Number 1 is customer acquisition. You have to have a way to get new customers coming through the door. Without that, it's the lifeblood of any business. You're going to dry up and die. There's no way around it. So I'm going to give you a very simple customer acquisition strategy that you can literally start doing today. The next is systemize your onboarding, your fulfillment, your support system, all of that stuff in your agency. This is huge, and a lot of people get this wrong. It's when I do one-on-one consults in Google Ad School, I see this all the time. People just mess this one part up where they're still manually doing everything. There's no systemization. There's no nothing. There's no assembly line. And I'm going to show you what this looks like later in the video. And the third piece of this is retention, right? I mean, guys, we got to be able to keep the clients we get, or all that hard work is for nothing if they're going to churn in 30 days. So retention is a big, big piece. So I created this little slideshow. It's super unprofessional, but you guys, if you watch my channel for a while, you know I am unprofessional, so that's okay. So let's get right into it. First slide, customer acquisition ecosystem. This is extremely important. You need to create an ecosystem for client customer acquisition. So there's a couple different strategies that we used for over a decade. They always work. Doesn't matter which one you want to use or focus on. Any one of them will work. Okay, so we have your agency here and different acquisition channels. So Facebook ads, number 1, right off the bat to get clients is extremely easy. Then you have Google ads, a little more difficult, but you can still do it these days, depending on your niche. Direct mail always works. Been using it for 10 years. There's a direct mail course inside for free. Inside Google Ad School, there's a link below the description. So after you watch this video, make sure you go visit that link and join Google Ad School, and you can get that course for free, where I show you how to get clients with direct mail. I even give you the letters that we sent that got clients. Now, the last piece of this is the most important part, okay? And a lot of people don't even do this, which is, kind of crazy to me, but it's remarketing. Right? It's staying in front of every single visit that you paid, right? Because if you're running marketing channels, you're paying for this stuff. So you got to stay in front of them. One second. Got some tea going. My throat's all dry. All right. So remarket everything. Now, when it comes to generating clients with Facebook ads, there's going to be in the top right, it's going to pop up any minute. It's going to be a link to a YouTube video training with a slideshow where I interview Alex Knight, who's a Facebook ads expert, especially in B2B, like client getting ads, where he breaks down how to get clients with Facebook ads, gives you the ads to use, gives you the types of creatives to use, gives you the text, the workflow, everything. Okay. However, don't go yet. There's a lot more in this video. So come back. It's going to pop up any minute, or it already has. And you guys can go watch that video and copy his Facebook acquisition system. The next piece, Google Ads, that's very basic. You can learn that just by joining Google Ad School. And again, there's a link below in the description. After you watch this video, go join that. And then direct mail, as I said, you can get that in the course. But the biggest piece of this, guys, is you need to be retargeting all of these different traffic channels that you are, running for your agency. Okay, stay in front of them, because the people who don't convert will eventually, when they see your face for 360 days, right? Because I think, or actually 540 days, I think is the retargeting time or remarketing time. So you want to stay in front of all this traffic. So that is piece number 1, customer acquisition ecosystem. So you create the ecosystem by staying in front of all the traffic you drive for basically, a year or 2. All right. Very, very important piece. Now, the next piece, systemizing your onboarding, your client onboarding, fulfillment, and even support. All right. So there's 3 different pieces to this. So the first piece is standardizing the onboard experience, right? Develop a clear process for welcoming clients, onboarding them, have your team fill out to build your client campaigns, fulfillment stuff. First you do this, then you do this. And I'm going to show you an example in a minute. The next piece is templatize your support. So if you're in a marketing agency, you get a lot of the same questions over and over again. Okay. So just write them out. Have ChatGPT write them out, whatever you got to do. Have ChatGPT go through all your emails and write and make a list of the most common questions asked, and then answer them for you. right? There's a lot of ways you can do this, but you want to have canned responses ready to go when somebody emails in support with a question, especially if it's something you get all the time. This is going to save you so much time to have this. Or you can have an AI help bot as your support, right? A lot of people do that nowadays, so that's one way to do it as well. But either way, the most important piece, okay, and please pay attention, is speed to answer. Okay, I cannot stress this enough. If a ticket comes in for support for your agency for fulfillment, or if there's an issue that they don't like, they're complaining or whatever, it doesn't matter what it is, answer it as fast as possible. Lightning fast. Okay. As soon as it comes in, you should have somebody on it answering it and diffusing the situation with the client. That's only going to help your retention as well, which is the next piece we'll get into. And the last piece here, number 3, is fulfillment workflow, right? Create a clear checklist of tasks for each client must complete it, right? For them, like your team can go through. And if it's, let's say you're offering Facebook ads, then your team should have a workflow management and some kind of project management software, which I will show you in a minute. About, here on Mondays, we work on this client. And this week, we're going to be building Facebook ad creatives, or we're adding different text message to A/B test. Or if you're managing Google ads, you're going on this client on this day, we're going through search terms and adding negative keywords, or we're testing new ads, or we're doing whatever. Either way, it has to be mapped out. And now I'm going to go into my project management software, which is, we use Asana, and I'm going to show you real life example of what this looks like. Okay, so what we're looking at is inside Asana. This is how a new onboard is laid out. And you can see here, it's systemized. It's built into an assembly line. All right, so we have stage 1 is the initial setup, right? And it has a checklist. Each one, some of these have sub checklists that expand down even further. Okay, and it's assigned to certain team members that, once that team member is done, then it moves on to the next. All right. And it cannot move on. So Faith does these first 3, and then, Ryan takes over after that. But Ryan can't start till Faith is done with her first 3. So that's how you have to build these things, is like an assembly line, and every single thing should be detailed out. So stage 1's the initial setup, right? Setting up a domain, getting a landing page going. Step 2 is landing page build and checking. So that's building the landing page out, adding all the client's details in, all of that stuff. Stage 3 is integrations and tracking. So any integrations we have to do, and any tracking codes, we do that. And it just works its way down the list in an onboard fashion. Very nice, neat, tidy. Okay. Stage 4, build a campaign. So we, build our campaign for the client, and we connect the landing page. We set up the reporting, and we validate everything's good. Stage 5, we finalize the onboard. We send test leads through, work with the client to make sure that the client's receiving the leads and the phone calls, and add them to the weekly optimization schedule, which I'm going to show you next. And stage 6, pre-launch checklist. Once again, we are like tripling down, triple checking everything to make sure that everything is done up to speed, everything works, everything's connected correctly, and everything's done. And then it gets shipped off to the client for approval. And once it's approved, then it goes green and we're good to go. So that's how you want to structure an onboard, whether it's Facebook ads or Google ads or website design or whatever you're selling. It doesn't matter, whatever your agency is selling, but you want to have some kind of structure like this, like an assembly line that will keep things nice and neat and organized for you to get speed, because speed is the most important thing. And we turn around onboards and within 24 hours, usually within 12 hours, depending on when it comes in. So we're extremely fast, and this is the way to be extremely fast at onboarding a new client. So next is we're going to go into client fulfillment and workflows, right? So you want to have a system that your team can follow to make sure that when they're working on your client campaigns, that your client campaigns are successful and on the rails and doing well. So I'm going to show you how we do that in the next piece. We're running Google ads for this client. We have their daily budget, their Google ads link to hop in their Google ads really quickly, the campaign name, a weekly volume goal. So this is goals that we've set with the client during the sales process that defines a successful, campaign. So this client wants 20 to 30 leads or more leads, 20 to 30 or more leads a week, with a weekly cost per lead range of $25 to $35. So if our job is being done and we're being successful, then our client will fall within these 2 ranges. Then we status it as someone works on it on Thursday when it's the time to work on it. They will status it if it met goals, and it's meeting all goals. So it's status that. Now There's different statusing. If it's not meeting goals, we choose not meeting goals. If it's, we're testing something, testing in progress, pause by client, pause by our team, pause for a payment source. If it's brand new campaign within 7 days, if it's within 30 days, if the account's suspended, suspensions have been appealed by our team. If optimizations were made, if the account needs validation, Google Ads, you have to validate accounts. If the campaign's almost hitting goals, right? So let's say they have 34 leads, but the cost per lead is like $37. So it's just outside of the weekly CPL range. That qualifies as almost hitting goals. Clients making changes in the account. Clients concerned. Support will usually tag this. Skip until further notice. So you want to status your campaigns as well. And guys, this is whether this is Facebook or TikTok ads or Google ads, doesn't matter. You want to have some kind of workflow where your team can go through and they're working on your client's account on that specific day to status the client as, where are they? Are they doing good? Are they doing bad? Do we need to work on things? And another piece of this, you'll see we collect more information. Conversion rate, if it's great, 15% or more. If it needs work, less than 5%, didn't convert, or set up a split test. Impression share, that's only a Google Ads thing. The bid strategy is only a Google Ads thing. Launch date, search partners on or off. And then below that, this is important. This is where notes are left, okay? Hitting all goals, negatives done, negative keywords. So this is where you'll leave detailed notes if there's a problem or anything like that. So you want to have some kind of system like this, right? It doesn't have to be Asana. If you're brand new and your agency's, under $10,000 a month, or maybe you're even at $50,000 a month and you're just not fully fleshed out yet, you can use Google Sheets. You don't have to use a project management software, although I highly recommend you do, because there's certain automations you can build that tie into statusing things, right? Like if I choose pause for payment source, and that was the status I put here, then an automated email would go out to my client saying, hey, there's an overdue payment on your Google Ads account. You should pay that so the ads continue to run. So there's a lot of cool things you do with that, but I'm getting off the point here. You don't need to use a project management software, but you need to follow some kind of system like this, whether it's in Google Sheets or anything else, doesn't really matter. So that's really, really important. So the next thing we're going to go into is back to the slideshow. We're going to talk about retention and some strategies you can use to increase your clients' retention rates. Back in the slideshow. All right, let's move on to the last piece of this, right? Retention. Really important, okay? And I've kind of touched on this piece already, but I'll go over it again. So retention strategies. 5 different ones here. Set clear expectations up front. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. Your expectations need to be set during the sales process. Otherwise, when the client comes on, it'll be the freaking Wild West of support issues. So define clear goals and expectations up front during the sales process, during the onboarding process, okay? Personalized client communication. Obviously, that's kind of self-explanatory, right? Make sure that you don't sound like a robot when you're talking to people. Even if you do send canned responses for common questions you get, make sure you personalize them to the client that you're sending it to. It's really important. And don't just copy and paste from ChatGPT, guys. Everyone knows now. You can tell that it's not. Or if you're going to use ChatGPT, at least put it through like some kind of, write me a response in a friendly tone or in a Dan Kennedy tone. I don't know, whatever. Just put it through some kind of filter before you send it. Transparent reporting. Number 3, right? Really important that you give them reporting. We do weekly reporting. It drops every Monday. And at least give them the key metrics, right? The clicks, the impressions, click-through rate, your contact form submitted for that week, phone calls for that week, cost per lead for that week, cost per contact form submitted, cost per phone call, all of that stuff that they need to know. It's more or less just conversion rate and cost per lead stuff they need to know. You want to make sure you're hitting those KPIs in your reports. And you want to minimize giving them too much, because people, generally clients who run a service-based business, do not understand data analytics, okay? So you don't want to overwhelm them. Just give them the basics of, okay, you got this many clicks, you got this many phone calls, you got this many contact forms, and it costs you, $20 per contact form, $10 per phone call, and that's what we're doing, okay? That's all you have to do. Now, next piece, timely response inquiries. I touched on this earlier in the video. Guys, I can't stress this enough either. Like, this is, you got to answer people. We had an issue a couple of years ago where one of our support people was not getting back to somebody for like 48 hours when a ticket came in. It was a disaster. Now it's, within 15 minutes, someone's getting on the phone or they're getting an email response. So you have to have a timely response to any type of support ticket, whether it's somebody's cursing at you and they're telling you to fuck off, or they're, they want to update a budget, they want to change an ad schedule, they want to try a new Facebook ad creative, whatever it is, doesn't matter. You got to do it quickly. All right. And then the last piece, which is overlooked a lot, is campaign feedback and adjustment. Every quarter, maybe, or every month, depending on how you want to do it, reach out to your client. Be, hey, how are the leads? How are you closing deals out of them? How many deals are you closing out of the 47 leads we sent you last month? What's your revenue on that? What can we do better? Do you need us to adjust anything? Are the leads in your location, right? You want to have a kind of an open feedback loop on either a monthly, which I think is a little too much personally, but quarterly, definitely, feedback loop on, getting feedback from them to make their campaigns better. So again, guys, these strategies right here are the fastest ways to scale your agency to at least $100,000. We got to 100,000 in our agency back in the day with like half of these. So if we did it, you guys could do it by following this that I didn't follow myself in the beginning. So follow this. And again, go to Google Ad School, sign up, take all the free courses, and go back to the beginning of the video. If you remember Facebook ads, there was a pop-up that showed, I'll actually drop the link below in the description so you guys can have it in there as well, to an interview where I give you a Alex Knight interview, and he gives you the entire Facebook client getting system. All right. So you're going to want to take notes and watch that. It's really, really good. I'll drop that link in the description.